Ryan and Rich welcome you to our Good Stuff podcast.
Hello, world, and welcome back. Ryan, are you ready for a follow-up episode after VCF East? I'm just so jazzed, and I've been so thinking retro. I have just retroed it up. How have you been feeling since the last time we recorded?
I'm here for another wonderful experiment here in the lab, but I think your lab is going to be very mad, and we'll talk about that shortly. But I'm doing great, having a lot of fun. Been doing a little bit of non-retro stuff in there, some work-related things, getting a little smarter with some cluster this, Ansible, Kubernetes, and all that funness, but that's not why we're here. We are here to talk about retro.
Retro time!
Dun, dun, dun. Exactly. So I had the opportunity to go to System Source. Again, luckily, it's really close to where I am. Love System Source. Every time I'm there, it's always different. There's always something new. And the Warfare, or the Radio Warfare Museum, I think that was splitting the parts there. They had actually moved out.
Where'd they go?
They got a different building. That's
like on the campus, or did they just leave that entire campus?
They left that area. So System Source has that space back, and they have a whole bunch of tables set up because they were doing a repair weekend, or bring your stuff to play with kind of thing too, that weekend, which I didn't stay for. But they also did a swap meet, and there was some cool stuff there.
Did you drive up with the buddies?
I did.
It was a road trip.
It was a road trip. It was an early morning. They picked me up around 7. We got there around 8:30, I think. It opened at 8.
Oh, dear listener, those must be really good friends, because I never get Ryan up at 7 to go anywhere, because that means he had to get up at 6:30 or 6:40.
Oh, I got up a little after 6.
Oh, Ryan, how'd you do that?
I didn't have to drive, so that helped quite a bit. That was a good time. Wandered around. I was a little more controlled this time. I didn't buy a ton of stuff. I got a couple PCM CIA cards that I think may work with an Amiga 600, 1200, but I don't even know yet.
Okay, so everyone playing along at home, we were at VCF East just recently, and Ryan was on the hunt for PCMCA cards. And we found lots of PCMCA cards. We actually found one box that was full of like 40. And it was the same 2 or 3 models over and over. And you just didn't walk away with any good feelings. What changed it for you this time?
Well, there was some older, there's an older Wi-Fi card. There's an old Linksys.
Yes.
16-bit. I don't know. It looks like it might work. The forum said that a version 1 should work. This is a version 3 of that card. I don't know. I saw a couple, and I picked up a couple modems, like PCMCIA modems.
Oh, cool.
So without dongles, so you do the little push little thing and you stick the jack in it. Because none of these cards had, if there was a spot for a dongle, those dongles were lost.
Dude, I worked in IT during those days with the little pop out. Was that a Hayes or a US? Was that a Hayes or US Robotics? What is that? I think Linksys also did it.
Yeah, there's one's a US Robotics.
There you
go. One is who did Megahertz? Megahertz is another one.
Okay, haven't heard of them. That is so cool. I can't wait to hear how these might resolve and get whether they work or not.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. There's a Wi-Fi card, and I also have a Linksys. There's a 10100 full Ethernet that has the port on it. So I don't know if this thing's going to work or not. It's 16-bit, so that's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's drivers for this. I couldn't find out, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but the price was right, and I got a little IDE to compact flash adapter with a 512 meg compact flash card. That's pretty much what I picked up. So not a lot of stuff this time, but saw a lot of stuff.
And folks, he did not call me and send me pictures of SX64s. So
I didn't.
that was successful for me this weekend, that I didn't spend any more money.
Yes, there was no. I didn't see an SS64. I saw. I think I saw two Commodore 64s with floppies.
Yeah.
I saw three Amiga 500s, one in box, which I had a little side card on the side. So I don't know if it was a hard drive. Someone else bought it,
Cool.
so I just saw the other guy looking at it. And there was an Amiga 3000 there, but I didn't need another Amiga 3000. And it wasn't cheap enough for me to go, okay, you made me buy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a certain price point where it would have been like, well, I guess I'm going home with that just because, but that wasn't in the cards, so it wasn't.
No CD32s.
No CD32s.
Okay.
Those are kind of rare.
I might see one at VCF Southwest. Josh and I will let you know. If we see one, I'm sending you a picture right away.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely want to know about it. They got to be at the right price point, obviously, and because they never really got released in the U.S. That's right around in Commodore folded. They had some issues, and they never really made it here. So it was good. It was a good meetup.
Hold on. You sent me a picture of a book you got for me. What book was that? And was that not from the meetup?
That's from a random garage sale.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a local garage sale that had board games. And with there just happened to be a Commodore 128 book.
Can't beat that with a bat. I will take that. I kind of forgot. I thought you got it at the source thing as we started recording. And then as soon as you said garage sale, I went, oh, that's right. He did. He picked it up at a random spot. But very cool. Thanks for giving me a book.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's Commodore 128 book. All right. Yeah, sure. So, yeah. System Source is great. They had their big warehouse section and just stacks and stacks of stuff. They've been going through things and, they're going to do another one, and it looks like a whole other section of stuff they're working on for some new things. So, well, new old things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to put it. New old things. New to you.
Exactly.
New to us.
Yeah, and then, Bob gave a tour, and I did a little bit of that. I did some wander around on my own, and, they're building an ENIAC, a mock ENIAC. Since that other museum moved out, they're starting to build a mock ENIAC from the size perspective of where it would go. But it's, it's being fleshed out just from the size. It's not like working. So there's like a cardboard outside with all the dials on it. And it looks really, really cool what they have done so far. So I'll be very interested when they have that done and being able to go see a replica of that.
Well, now I have another reason to visit next year, to go to System Source and see some of the new things that are happening.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm planning on going there sometime soon. It's on my calendar for what they call Phone Con.
Oh.
So it's a telephone communications convention they're going to do. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is going to be good. It's the first annual. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably go up for like a day.
Yeah.
I run up Saturday for a couple hours. I mean, it's an hour and probably 20-minute drive from my house, so it's not terrible. It can be a little bit longer depending on traffic, but I want to go check it out. I like supporting the museum. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they do a lot of good stuff. They do.
Definitely. I'm glad to be able to do that. So that's what, I'm off to. I mean, I know last episode we talked about the shell you bought for the C64. What are you been doing with that?
Okay.
What have you been doing with the 64 stuff?
The retro stuff that's been going on in my life. Last time we talked, I don't know if it was on air, but Ryan and I talked off air. I was off to a sales kickoff. So I was going to spend a week at a hotel. And, all things related to work, all things related to having, building the momentum for the upcoming year to just sell and make everything great at the company, blah, blah, blah. You know how these kickoffs are. I did take a book with me, And so I started off with the Commodore 64 Intro to Basic, Book 1, which, Ryan, it's awesome. It literally starts with, here's your Commodore 64 and here's your peripherals. Here's how it's like how to plug things in, how to read from the tape drive, how to read from the disk drive. And so I was really having fun reading this book at night and kind of going through the exercises in my brain, because in real life, they want you to plug the cable in and put the disk in and load the program. And they give you all the steps. I forget what it was like to be at the beginning of computers, because this book assumes you know nothing. So when they talk about the return key, they talk about what is a return key. And every time they tell you to press return, there's a graphic showing the return key, which we've all seen in current books. But, you know, it was so great to read this from a point of view of, well, I know this, but what if I put myself in my position of Rich in 1985 getting a Commodore 64 and disk drive and having to go, how does this work? So I read through all the intro material, and then it got to the keyboard section about why are there all these different symbols on your keyboard? Why are these other ones on the front and these ones on the top? How do I access all this? And I stopped at my sales kickoff because I wanted to be back at my home machine. And so I started back up at my home machine on section 2, working through the exercises and just having a good time. It's just really fun. So that was how I started since our last get together retroing. But once I got back, Ryan, I got caught up on work and I started working on the Commodore 64 laptop. And, you know, calling it a laptop, maybe a lot, maybe it's a CyberDeck, maybe it's a Commodore 64 CyberDeck. I don't know. And I, of course, am recording this series as I'm working on it. And I hit a stopping point. I got Raspberry Pi, SD card, HDMI outputs working great. Hook up the keyboard that I got for $10 at a trades day. It's working great. It's a really small format keyboard. It's really nice. And then I got to hooking the monitor in, got the monitor hooked up. And you remember, we picked that up together down at Micro Center. And the monitor didn't work. And I'm like, why is the monitor not working, Ryan? I got all the plugs right. I went back through all the plugs. I got my gold label stuff facing the right way to fit in. I got this the right way. I got the pins on the right pins for the power. So, 5-volt and ground going down to the monitor. I had to go to the internet. I had to search. And do you want to take a stab at why the monitor doesn't work? Just out of any curiosity.
Oh, what can I think? Did it even flicker at all?
No flicker.
I'm going to guess some kind of power issue.
Great guess. It is 100% power. I started reading back through the book. Well, I mean, the back of the manuals, like the back of the box. I started looking at the box. I started looking online, and it said it needed 2.5 amps, 5 volts, 2.5 amps. Well, I got a Raspberry. What now?
So it needs a 10-watt power supply.
Yeah. So I've got Raspberry Pi 3, and it has basically a micro USB, right? It's the really small one. You know what I'm talking about? A little micro USB. Yeah. It's not standard USB. It's really small. And of course, the other end of it's an A. And I'm like, well, there's no way you're getting that amperage off of an A to a micro. And so then I started down the rabbit hole online, and I did find I had one adapter that was A related, because then I started digging through all my boxes. That is 2.2 amps with an A plug-in. Didn't work. And so then I started digging around more. Ryan, I have on order from Saturday, it should show up tomorrow, a USB-C to bare lead. So I can pin it to go directly to the monitor. Instead of the monitor getting power off the Pi, I'm going to let the monitor get power off of the USB-C connection. And I think they rated it at 2.8 amps on this. So is that going to blow up my monitor if I have a 2.8 or a 2.5?
No, it should not.
Okay, that was my question to you.
That means it's how much it has available. It should not.
Okay.
So keep black to black and red to red.
Yes, black to black, red to red. So when we come back next week, I should be able to tell you more about disassembling the old Dell laptop that we had purchased because I
Oh, good.
still want to do some testing on its internal keyboard before I switch to my USB keyboard. But we'll save that fun for a little bit later. I haven't opened it up yet. I didn't start taking screws out because I didn't want to dig into it until I had the prototype working on the board. So then I could put it into the laptop itself. So that's kind of where that project ended. I'm super happy with where it's at because I'm using BMC 64, and that looks great. When I just have the HDMI out going to my monitor and my capture card, it is like, this is going to be what I wanted, Ryan. I'm going to be able to sit on my couch and be able to code and goof around with this box with no interruptions. No interruptions, just me and the box.
Love it. Love it. Well, I want to see how this comes out. I'm glad that's going forward. I definitely want to see what happens with your monitor getting the power. There are power bricks out there that can push 3 amp over USB-A.
Oh my God, Ryan. I'm an idiot. I've got that desktop power supply that I can set its output and amperage, and it has a module that plugs on the end for, has a bunch of universal ends.
Yeah.
It has an end that plugs in that's black and red.
That should be fine. Yeah,
that's what I should have tested with.
Yeah, I think the red one has more power. The red end. The blues and the reds usually have a little more power.
We'll see, buddy. We'll see. But I got that stuff coming in. Did you hardware at all? Did you hardware in the past couple weeks? I know you did. You had to.
and I know for those at home, he can see this Amiga 2000 sitting here beside me. I made a little post. Like I still have the front 3D printed for the floppy drives here. I was going to 3D print some 5 1/4 adapter because the tab punch out of that 2000's missing. I did create for a lot of these Amigas, the death of the Varda battery, right?
Yes.
So that is the Amiga killer. So the battery's out. This thing had a little bit of leakage. I've cleaned that up, and that's fine. And I've soldered into the spot, the leads with a cable with a little plug on the end, so I could go move it and not just have to change the battery underneath where it sits in a 2000, which is amazingly inconvenient because you have to lift so much stuff up. Not a good time. So actually, this morning, all the rest of the parts showed up because I missed a part. I don't know where I put it. So the little prototype PCB and these little things you get to go put stuff in them. There's, you get a whole stack of them for like $8, and you just put stuff in and then solder stuff together. It works great. So I had the CR2032 battery adapter, and it needs a resistor and a diode, so it blocks the charge voltage coming back, so you don't try to charge a non-chargeable battery.
Makes sense.
Because that tends to be bad and will explode. So this morning I got it all. It's this little thing here. Got it all soldered up, all working together, tested out, and plugged it in without a battery just to test the voltage coming back while the computer's on. Had 0 volts. I'm like, cool, it actually worked. Put the battery in it, and through the little circuit, I'm getting it's like 3.08 volts out. Perfect. And plugged it in, played with the clock a little bit. While the machine's on, clock's fine. I get the times working great. The time's off. When it's off, the clock is running super slow. So I don't know what's going on from the 2000 perspective of why is it doing that. But, 20 minutes will go by and only 5 minutes will go by on the clock. And that confuses me. So I don't know what's up with that. That just might be a thing that just, who knows? Because really you don't need a clock on an Amiga. But so I kind of have that working. This thing has Kickstart 1.3 in it. I booted up with Workbench 1.3. Boots up fine. I can see the clock. I can set the clock. Just it loses time if it's on the battery. So that's kind of weird. So we'll just continue to work through that.
Yeah, that's really odd. As
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, that's all part of this game of finding where the right things line up.
Yeah, and it may just be that's just what it is. This is a 2000 I probably do want to sell. I said I have five of them. I don't need five, so I'm trying to get this one together so it actually works and boots and does things. And it does. It's just the clock's a little off, and then it has me puzzled, and I'm trying to figure out how much time I want to put into it to try to make that work. Or is that just here's the little clock adapter I made, and this is a known issue? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I can move on to some other project that I want to dig into. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm spending a lot of time with that. Now, I heard you actually did something Amiga.
Oh
on
my God,
Saturday.
Ryan.
Finally. You've been trying to do this for like a year. I
Are
don't
we
know why.
talking? Are we talking about the meetup?
We are talking about the meetup. You
Okay,
actually made it to a meetup, and you've been on like lockdown and won't tell me anything, didn't send any photos, and what's going on?
So, for the listener at home that maybe is new and hasn't been listening to this journey for the last 50 episodes, I have never made the Amiga meetups ever. I met those guys. I got on the mailing list. I get the updates whenever they have them. I am either out of town, I'm sick, I've hurt my back, I've got something else scheduled. I have personal events. I have missed. Ryan, how long has it been? Has it been 2 years since I first met the Amiga meetup guys?
I think you went once because you sent me one picture one time of, hey, there's someone selling these games. Do you want any of them?
That was at the VCF meetup at Bingo Bingo. So that was me meeting the guys at the VCF event, the swap meet, at their table for the Amiga meetup. And some of them were selling some things at the same time. And they were just promoting the Amiga meetup at the same time to anybody that came in. And I got on the mailing list. That was the first time I met them. That had to be a year and a half ago, bro. They've had to have
easy.
8 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I make it, Ryan. I went. I was there. Bar the door. I jumped in the Volkswagen. I drove across town. I went over to the Dallas Makerspace. I can't figure out what door is the right door to go into, but a guy opens the door and goes, "Oh, hey, are you here for the Amiga thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "I could see you walking around." And so I come inside. It was just him.
Really?
No one else showed up.
Oh, no.
It turns out there was a retro event that happened this weekend, and I should have been prepared, Ryan. Let me go to my email. Let me go to my email because I'm on the mailing list, so people are posting about whether they're coming, what are they bringing, things along those lines. Someone said also on May 9th from 9 to 4 is the Retro Tech Show in Hearst. And they go, "I'll be there, but I'll show up afterwards." And this is 2 to 4 is this event.
Okay.
So met Johnny, no relation to Josh, just another J. So I met Johnny. Johnny's like, "Hey, how are you doing? Blah, 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 here for the Amiga meetup." "Yeah, sorry, I'm late." He goes, "Oh, don't worry, no one's here yet." So we go into the classroom. We sit down, and I go, "Yeah, I figured I was 10 minutes late, dude. I figured there'd be someone there." And he goes, "I think the retro thing that got posted at Fest in Hearst, I think everybody's there." Because he goes, "Last time we had this classroom full, and the time before it was about half full." He goes, "We've never not had more than one person show up before, but I have a feeling everybody saw that retro tech thing in the email thread and all went there."
Oh, June.
So Ryan, the first meeting I make it to, nobody's there, bro. It's just me. It was. I didn't tell you about it because I just couldn't wait to tell you. I was like, I got to save this for online. Isn't it ironic?
Yeah. It's like, what's up with that?
But Johnny and I had a great talk. I hung out for 40 minutes with Johnny. I think I told you one of the big things I wanted to see was where do people get their cases from? I want my 500 to get a new case. I really want to elevate its game. It's it has that old beady case. It's been great. I'm just ready to take it up a notch. And he mentioned Checkmate makes a case. I looked at it. It looks way too much for me. I'm hoping at VCF Southwest, we find someone selling some cases for the Amiga 500. If not, I will find one online. The Checkmate version was really cool, Ryan. Imagine if I wanted to make my Amiga 500 look kind of like a 2000. I could move my motherboard into a base unit. I could move my keyboard into a keyboard case unit, and I could have like kind of a PC, bro. And what would be really cool is my GoTech could be at the front and facing me instead of on the side. Do you see what I mean? It kind of has a PC build appearance. So anybody that's at home, just look up Checkmate. Checkmate Computers, Checkmate Amiga, and go to their products, and you're going to be able to see this neat case idea. But I don't think that's what I need, bro. I think I just need a regular 500. That looks like it's too much. I just want something I can pick up and walk around with.
Go to a1200.net. They have
a1200.net.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I need, dude. I'm going to go to VCF Southwest. If we find one, great. If not, I'm going to come back and pick one up online. It's kind of like going to the bookstore. Is sometimes you want to try and buy local. Who knows? Someone might be selling this local. I don't know.
It might be.
Yeah.
But these guys make them.
Yeah.
This is one of the only people I know that actually makes them.
And they're really pretty. That's really nice. So yes, I really wanted an objective whenever I went to the Amiga meetup and talk to people and get their opinions. Who knows? I could have found someone that said, dude, I got a brand new case, or I got a really nice case just sitting at home. Why don't we hook up afterwards? But, just didn't work out. Wasn't meant to be. But I'm going to go to the next one after that one, Ryan. And by God, I hope there's more than one person there.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, someone could have bought one of these crystal ones, like the see-through ones, and then they have the normal A500 case afterwards. And, yeah. And
I'll ship you the old case when I'm done, because that old case goes with the old motherboard that you still have. Or do you still have that old motherboard?
It's still downstairs, yeah.
Okay. So when I'm done with this, I'll mail you the other case.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it.
Ooh, maybe I'll bring it to VCF Midwest and we can do a handoff.
Yeah, maybe. Or when you come back out to East next year, we can just bring it then.
Yeah. So that concludes all my crazy adventures. I do want to dive into an AI conversation with you. And I swear it seems like there are some people that are really, really against talking about AI. And so I see them on Facebook and I see them on the other groups where they kind of, we had a really great experience at VCF East where people were presenting. And they were like, hey, I had Claude help me figure out these parts of the puzzle.
Right.
They still had the knowledge. They use Claude as an assistant, which is really cool. They just had someone who instead of them spending a lot of time searching, it kind of found things back for them. That's kind of what I really dig about this.
Yes.
So I'm going to throw out trigger warning that if you've enjoyed the episode so far and you just don't want to hear about AI because it just makes, your day kind of shitty. Thanks. We really appreciate you hanging out. Like, subscribe below. But I'm going to ping Ryan about some AI talk. Ryan, are you open to that?
Let's do it. All
right. Here's what I got. I put LM Studio on my desktop with my video card and those kind of jazz. And what do you call it, my LM Studio? Is that my LLM? Or is the LLM the modules I load inside of LM Studio? Or is it kind of just all together my LLM?
Now your LLM it stands for a large language model. So that is the actual model you're using. Okay. So like if you're using Qwen 359B, that's the LLM you're using. Or Gemma E4B, yeah, that's the model. That's your model.
So what do you call LM Studio? Is it just the application for hosting your LLM?
For the most part, I don't know what name it has, but it uses like Llama uses the same thing. It's like llama.app. It's a C framework that these are both built on, and it just takes it and lets you run this model locally.
Okay, so I got that set up, and I hooked up with dear listener. I'm freaking texting Ryan every 10 minutes during this. So I got Gemma comes with it. You got me onto Quinn, and I got Quinn and Quinn Coder, both models downloaded. And then I sat down and, with the assistance of Claude, got Web UI working on my laptop. And so I could kind of talk about it. Well, one, I had to get LM Studio open on my network. Then I got Web UI running in a Docker on my Mac. So I could kind of treat it like I do Claude. I open a web page and I ask questions and I go back and forth with it. And then I wanted to get into coding because I've been using Claude as a mentor. I feed in, in PDF format, some of the programs I'm working on, and I'll say, hey, explain lines 50 through 90 to me. And I'll kind of use it in that sense. And it's been really helpful. And so now I have connected.dev, which allows me to vibe code. And I'm using this word without really knowing if I'm using it right. So I should say I loaded up connected.dev. I got it connected into my LLM. And on my Mac, I said, hey, can you do Commodore 64 programming? And of course it says it can. And so I said, hey, I need a Hello World program. And I need it to have colors. And I want things to flash on the outside. And I want things to flash on the inside. And I want it to run for this long and blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, it made it for me. And then I got to test it. And so I want to test it in Vice. And so I grabbed it and tried to bring it into Vice, copy paste. Well, it's all in caps. And so it gets all pesky ASCII maxed out, which I didn't understand until I started poking around online. And then I had to do it all in lowercase. And I copied and pasted it in and it made it all caps. And it worked. It worked. And so I was like, okay, so did I just vibe code right there, Ryan, where I really didn't do anything but give it a prompt? And then I got the output from the prompt and I put it somewhere. Is that vibe coding?
That is my understanding of vibe coding. That is 100% correct.
Now, what I really want to do is code with assistance. And I want to try that next. That's going to be my next thing, that I start doing things and start writing things. I haven't really figured this out yet, but what do you think about that? Have you touched into this coding with assistance from the LLM?
Yeah, I use something called RuCode. It's a plugin to VS Visual Studio Code.
Okay, VS Studio.
So I'm using that. It's helped me out with AMail some for done some unit testing for me, which is kind of a big focus of my. I'm getting ready to release another version that has a lot of unit tests that I found.
Oh,
help me find
wow.
bugs. And then it's helped me. I've asked it some questions like, how do I do this, or how can I do this more efficiently? In some cases where it's helped me convert something that was using recursion to using loops, which means you need less stack space and it's more memory efficient. But it was a little over my head of what I was actually doing. So it helped walk through that. I'm still not 100% sure what it is doing, except that it works. So it's helped me got through a point.
Got it.
In that aspect. So that's helping me, but it's giving me information. Hey, I did this. And I'm like, okay, cool. But I need to go read about some theory or something because I didn't really get why it did the thing, but it did. And it's when I did some other searches online, they're like, oh yeah, this is what you do to have a smaller memory footprint for things that have less memory or currently embedded systems and things. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's really where I want to end up. I want to end up that I'm coding and I can go back and forth with it and get some assistance in certain areas. Now, my last question. This is my last question. There is only so much it knows right now. And I've already played with and downloaded multiple. I mean, if we go back through the episodes, I've been through the 8 books that teach BASIC that were from the 80s, 90s. I've been through multiple basic programming books, from college level textbooks out of SMU to downloadable things that you've even shared with me that you have found that are Commodore 64 BASIC. When it comes to me writing my Magnus Opus text adventure, that's really this whole goal is one day I'm going to write my text adventure, right? And I want my LLM that I'm working with to understand some of the books that I've read, because they have neat ways of either parsing text or providing navigation systems. And I wanted to understand those. Do I just upload that in through my chat with my coding portal, or do I go back to LM Studio, or is it Rich? Here's what I think. You need to go do more research. What are your thoughts?
That's called RAG, which I don't remember what it stands for offhand.
I've read about RAG in the past. I cannot remember what it stands for either right now, but please, you're looking it up, I think.
Retrieval augmented generation. So you can actually have it, hey, go look at these things and try to do stuff. I've played around with it a little bit. I still need to get smarter with it. I had a different program that I can just dump a whole bunch of Amiga PDF programming books, and like half a day later it indexed them and then would start hitting against them. I have yet to figure out LM Studio and how it does it there.
Okay.
But I want to put like, the Amiga, development kit against it. Here's all the APIs and say, here, now you know about these. And this is things I'm kind of interested in.
That's what I need to do next.
Your best.
So yeah, I'm going to be researching it next week also. So when we get together, maybe we can have an AI corner at the end again and compare some notes, because 100% that's where I want to go. I was thinking, I wonder if it knows about the programmer reference guide. I wonder if it knows about this. I wonder where's it getting the Commodore 64 knowledge? And it just has basic knowledge, because I'm going to tell you, I tried to vibe code another project after the Hello World, and it failed on line 90. It didn't even get past line 90. I didn't go research it anyway. I just giggled and went, yeah, that's the way this is, right? It thinks it's right, because who knows? It's probably writing it properly in BASIC, but is it writing it properly in Commodore 64 V2 BASIC?
Yeah, who knows, right? Because you get these little magazines, all this stuff. Like, here's the TI Basic, here's Apple Basic, here's Commodore Basic, and they all had a little bit of different things. So this really neat idea, I'm hoping to be able to get to, because I want to keep dumping Amiga references into it to make my life a little bit better. I don't want it to do everything for me, but I want it to help. And it's actually, I've told it to go down and find stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, you have a potential memory overflow here, and if this case happens, and I'm like, okay, I don't care, because I'm never doing that. Or, oh, I do care, and it helped me find an uninitialized value. It's like, oh, sometimes it's freaked out, and sometimes it didn't, and it helped me find a stupid human problem.
Yeah.
So in some aspects, that's been really good. Now, I have or at least a question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned when you're going through it, this pet ASCII thing and a memory issue. What is that?
Oh, I shouldn't have said memory if I did. It was the uppercase letters. When I copy and paste them in, they get misrepresented as the pet ASCII characters that are on the front of the keys.
Oh, yeah.
So they get misrepresented because they're capitals. But in the UI for the coding, it wants to do basic in all caps and show it to me in all caps. So once I get done with it, I have to say, hey, put that all in lowercase. And it puts it all in lowercase. And then I copy and paste it right into Vice, and it makes it capitalized from the not uncapitalized. It takes uncapitalized letters, and in the paste process makes them capitalized. So capitalized letters in the paste process make them pet ASCII codes.
Oh, this tracks. So there should be a way to actually tell it when it's creating stuff. Oh, by the way, you're giving it these other skills, that things come out. Make sure you don't use capital letters. Make sure you use all lowercase letters.
I could have made that a guideline within the program, I bet, and that will be something I do explore, because I don't want to always at the end say, hey, convert it. I wanted to just be in that process so I could do multiple testings while I'm working.
Right. And some other interesting things you're going to run across is that, AI is just a math algorithm, right? Yeah. So it's trying to do predictive texting. So you can run the same question 2 or 3 times and get 2 or 3 different answers. It's just going to work its way through. And I've had that happen where sometimes it's like, hey, this is perfect. This is what I need. And then sometimes it just kind of wandered off and rewrote a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That's exactly how I feel about that parsing of text and the navigation system. I have a system I like from those books that I want to reuse, right, in my maps. I don't want it to go make a whole new navigation system for me, bro. I want my navigation. So when I'm writing, I want to write my way, and I don't want it to correct that. I want it to think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. So I know a lot of times when I was doing the unit testing, initially it kind of did whatever it wanted, but after it and I worked on a couple, I said, oh, go to this file, make unit tests, make sure they're in the same format and style as these other unit tests. So it goes, oh, okay. And I usually have the thinking process turned on so I can see what it's actually doing. And it's interesting. Oh, yeah, shoot. I have to go do this and look at what it's doing. So now it's going to read those files, and it's, looking at them like, oh, I have to do it this way. It's kind of interesting in that aspect. It's not the quickest thing on the planet locally versus one of the paid services. I know we've tried an experiment and proved that. It's interesting. It's helped me a couple times. Like I've highlighted things and said, hey, what is this? And it's broken it down and said, this is what it is. And tells me why. And sometimes it's enough. Sometimes I go off and look up this principle or property and says, what's going on? And I just got smarter. So it's good and bad, right? Yeah.
I want to get better and I want to do more expansive things. And I'm hoping it's a better coach. And it's a coach that can start giving me some input that isn't in one space. It's in a space that I'm at. And of course, I can always bring what I've done solo into this environment too. I don't necessarily have to do all my coding in there. So we'll see what the next project that comes out. But I had a really fun time setting that up. And for any of those people at home that are giving this a shot with some LLMs or AI stuff, blippity blop, let us know what you're thinking and how you're doing some of this stuff. I find it's enabling me to reach further than I normally could reach. But I definitely don't want to just do make me a game that does this, this, and this and not care about how it's done in the background. I want it done in a certain fashion. I want to learn how to do it in a fashion that's efficient. And I'm not too sure sometimes it does efficient work. I think it just does work.
It does work. Yeah, definitely. I found some things that did that for sure. Where it's like, hey, let's define this thing, and it put it in 4 files individually instead of the one file that gets included in those 4 files. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So it's another tool. It's a very cool.
Well, Ryan, I think that wraps me up for this week. And boy, we started adding AI Corner to the end of our recaps. We're going to be making some longer episodes. You got anything to jump in on this one, or are we calling it good?
I think we're going to call this one good. I think thank you all for coming along with us for our adventure here in the lab. And I know Rich's mad science experiments going on over there are going to be highly entertaining. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you learn from these, because I'm going to be lazy and make you figure out RAG, and then you're going to tell me how it works. And then we can set it up on mine as well for the Amiga stuff.
I can't wait. Thanks, everyone, for coming along. Talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.